Going to learn about a reading strategy called text to self. Now, who knows what text is? Raise your hand if you know what text is. Okay.
Text means to write a sentence.
It isn't a caption on a book.
It isn't a caption on it.
To text.
I think you kind of know what it means, but I'm going to tell you to kind of give you a little more clarification. So text is the words in the book. And so today we're going to learn how to make connections to our own lives from the book. So when I'm reading you this story called Ira Sleeps Over, I'm going to read the book and I'm going to make some connections to my own life. So a connection is something that reminds me of a past event that I had when I was a kid. So when I'm reading this book, I'm going to say some things that remind me of when I was a kid, and I'm going to tell you what they were. And while I'm reading, I need you to think about some things that happened in your life that you can relate to in the book. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then later we're going to write a sentence about the text to self connection that you made for yourself. So I'm going to start reading this book. It's called Ira Sleeps Over, and I'm going to read it and then I'll show you the pictures after I'm done reading, okay? Okay. So Ira Sleeps Over. I was invited to sleep at Reggie's house. Was I happy? I had never slept at a friend's house before. But I had a problem. It began when my sister said, "Are you taking your teddy bear along?" "Taking my teddy bear along," I said. "To my friend's house? Are you kidding? That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Of course I'm not taking my teddy bear." So when I was little, I had a stuffed pig that I have with me right here, whose name is Arnold Zeffel. And Arnold Zeffel went with me everywhere. And it sounds like Ira has a favorite stuffed animal that's a bear that he likes to take everywhere. Now I wonder if Ira is going to take his bear everywhere like I did. Oh, we'll do questions afterwards, okay? So, let's think. Can we predict and think if Ira's going to take his bear with him? So we're going to think about that. Let's see what happens. And then she said, his sister said, "But you never slept without your teddy bear before. How will you be sleeping without your teddy bear for the very first time?" I'll feel fine. I'll feel great. I will probably love sleeping without my teddy bear. Just don't worry about it, I said. Who's worried, she said. But now she had me thinking about it. Now she really had me thinking about it. I began to wonder, suppose I won't like sleeping without my teddy bear. Suppose I'll just hate sleeping without my teddy bear. Should I take him? So, when I was little, I remember going to my friend's house for the first time to spend the night, and I was super afraid. So I brought my stuffed pig with me, and he made things a little better. So I wonder if Ira's going to take his teddy bear to help him feel better about his sleepover. So we're going to think about that. We're going to find out if he takes his teddy bear. What do you think's going to happen?
She's going to take his teddy bear.
Well, let's find out. Oh, well, maybe that's a different thing. Let's see what happens. "Take him," said my mother. "Take him," said my father. "But Reggie will laugh," I said. "He'll say I'm a baby." "He won't laugh," said my mother. "He won't laugh," said my father. "He'll laugh," said my sister. I decided not to take my teddy bear. That's not very kind of his sister, is it?
No. Like my sister.
That afternoon I played with Reggie. Reggie had plans. Big plans. "Tonight," he said, "when you come to my house, we are going to have fun, fun, fun. First, I'll show you my junk collection. And after that, we'll have a wrestling match. And after that, a pillow fight. And after that, we'll do magic tricks. And after that, we'll play checkers. And then we'll play dominoes. And then we can fool around with my magnifying glass. Great, I said. I can hardly wait. By the way, I asked, what do you think of teddy bears? But Reggie just went on talking and planning as if he had never heard of teddy bears. And after that, he said, do you know what we can do after that? I mean, when the lights are out and the house is really dark, guess what we can do? What? I asked. We can tell ghost stories. Ghost stories, I said. Ghost stories, said Reggie. Scary, creepy, spooky ghost stories. I began to think about my teddy bear. Does your house get very dark? I asked. Uh-huh, said Reggie. Very, very dark? Uh-huh, said Reggie. By the way, I said again, what do you think of teddy bears? Suddenly, Reggie was in a big hurry to go someplace. See you tonight, he said. See you, I said. I decided to take my teddy bear. Good, said my mother. Good, said my father. But my sister said, what if Reggie wants to know your teddy bear's name? Did you think about that? And did you think about how he will laugh and say Tata is a silly baby name even for a teddy bear? He won't ask, I said. He'll ask, she said. I decided not to take my teddy bear. She's not very nice, is she? At last, it was time to go to Reggie's house. Good night, said my mother. Good night, said my father. Sleep tight, said my sister. I went next door where Reggie lived. That night, Reggie showed me his junk collection. He showed me his flashlight, his collection of bottle caps, a chain made of chewing gum wrappers, some picture postcards, an egg timer, jumbo goggles, a false nose and mustache, and a bunch of old rubber stamps and labels from his father's office. We decided to play office with the rubber stamps. After that, we had a wrestling match. And after that, we had a pillow fight. And after that, Reggie's father said, bedtime. Already, said Reggie. Already, said his father. We got into bed. Good night, said Reggie's father. Good night, we said. Reggie sighed. I sighed. We can still tell ghost stories, said Reggie. Do you know any, I asked. Uh-huh, said Reggie. Reggie began to tell a ghost story. Once there was this ghost, and he lived in a haunted house, only he did most of the haunting himself. This house was empty except for this ghost because nobody wanted to go near his house. They were so afraid of this ghost. And every night this ghost would walk around his house and make all kinds of clunky, creaky sounds. Harump, harump, like that. And he would go around looking for people to scare because that's what he liked most to do, scare people. And he was very scary to look at. Oh, he was. He's scary to look at. Ooh. Reggie stopped. Are you scared, he asked. Uh-huh, I said. Are you? What? Said Reggie. Are you scared? Just a minute, said Reggie. I have to get something. What do you have to get, I asked. Oh, something, said Reggie. Reggie pulled the something out of a drawer. The room was dark, but I could see it had fuzzy arms and legs and was about the size of a teddy bear. I looked again. It was a teddy bear. Reggie got back into bed. Now about this ghost, he said. Is that your teddy bear, I asked. What, said Reggie. Is that your teddy bear? You mean this teddy bear? The one you're holding, I said. Uh-huh, Reggie answered. Do you sleep with him all the time? What, said Reggie. Do you sleep with him all of the time? Uh-huh. Does your teddy bear have a name? Does your teddy bear have a name, I said louder. Uh-huh, Reggie answered. What is it? You won't laugh, said Reggie. No, I promise I won't laugh. he said. I said, I promise. It's Foo-Foo. Did you say Foo-Foo? Uh-huh, said Reggie. Just a minute, I said. I have to get something. What do you have to get, Reggie asked. Oh, something, I answered. When I was little and I went to my first sleepover, I was super afraid and I didn't want to stay over, so I called my parents to have them come up and pick me up. So I wonder if Ira is going to go home and sleep at his house. So what do you think? Make a prediction about what you think is going to happen, and then share with your carpet partner. Okay, so are you thinking? Okay, share with your carpet partners.
I think since she has.
Elise, you
have a really
can turn around with Bella.
Actually, I think they're going to stay. Because she has her teddy bear.
Oh, because both of their teddy bears are made.
Probably, maybe.
Okay, let's come back and look forward. Okay, exactly. So let's find out what happens to Ira. The next minute, I was ringing my own doorbell. The door opened. Ira, everyone said. What are you doing here? I changed my mind, I answered. You what? Said my mother. You what? Said my sister. She was still up. I changed my mind, I said. I decided to take Tata after all. I went upstairs. Oh, Foo-Foo is actually Reggie's bear. So, before we finish this story, I'm going to give you these little worksheets, and we're going to fill these out before I finish the story. So we're going to think about what happens to Ira while we're doing this. But right now, I'm going to have you guys write these sentences, and I wrote, when I spent the night at my friend's house, and I want you guys to think about a stuffed animal that you took to a friend's house, or if you felt afraid or happy or excited when you went to a friend's house. And I'm going to pass these out, and then I want you to go sit at your tables and fill them out, and then come back, okay?
Souders, I never had a sleepover before.
That's okay. If you didn't have a sleepover, oh, here, look around, look at me. If you haven't had a sleepover, maybe think about a time that you went over and played at a friend's house instead. Will that work? Yeah, like a play date.
But I did took like a stuffed animal. But I did took toys when I was going on like a trip with my friend.
That's
she
okay.
was about to move.
Okay. Well, maybe you can think about a feeling that you had about that. Maybe you were excited. Just a minute, Georgie. So I'm going to show you what we're going to write. So, in my text to self connection, I said, when I spent the night at my friend's house, I felt afraid. So, I'm going to have you guys write a feeling on, oh, Bailey, look up front. I'm going to have you guys write either a feeling that you felt during your sleepover or play date, or if you took a stuffed animal with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to hand you these little worksheets, and then I'm going to have you go and sit down at your table, and then fill them out, and we'll come back in just a minute.
What's the white one?
Well, that was just a...
I did both. I did both.
Okay.
I bring a stuffed animal and
Okay. Well, you can pick one or the other.
why? Can we do two?
Nope. We're only doing one right now. Not yet. Okay, you can go down and sit at your table. Yes, Amy? Oh, not right now. I'll show you what he does at the end of the story.